I got over that. I got the job for a week. And then nobody said, you know, don't come back, so I came back the next week. And so I did that for 2.5 years. And I learned a lot, you know, from Steve and from just being around television and knowing what to do with the cameras. And I became a little more aware of it. Yeah, it was good training.
Andy's appearances on Tonight led to something he'd always wanted, a record contract. The guiding hand of Kay Thompson arranged an audition with Archie Blyer, the head of Cadence Records.
I went over, she played for me, and I sang for Archie, and he liked it. He said, fine, make a record, and I started making records.
Once I was alone, so lonely and then you came out of nowhere like the sun up from the hill.
Canadian Sunset was only Andy's second record for Cadence, but in August of 1956, it jumped to #7 on the charts.
We lived in Los Angeles, and I was driving down Balboa Boulevard, and it came on the air, and I almost ran off the road. I was so excited I had to pull over and stop. And it was just so thrilling.
For his next record, Andy was pressured by Archie Blyer to become an Elvis impersonator.
I said, I don't know whether I can do this thing. He said, well, do you want to have a hit? I said, yeah, I want to have a hit. He said, well, you'll have a hit with this record. So I went home and got a Elvis Presley record, and I listened to it.
You tell me you love me, you say you'll be true, then you fly around with somebody new, but I'm crazy about you, you butterfly.
You know, that wasn't the way I was brought up to sing. But anyway, I wanted a hit. So I went in, you tell me you love me, and he puts the clicks in and all this stuff. And it was absolutely the biggest hit I ever had.
Ooh, I love you so much, I know what I'll do. I'm clipping your wings, you're flying us through, 'cause I'm crazy about you, you butterfly.
Butterfly was Andy's first #1 record. He would enjoy 11 more chart hits over the next 4 years with Cadence. And although he was closer to defining his distinctive vocal style, he was still a work in progress. In 1958, Andy finally realized his dream of hosting a TV show.
Andy, I guess it's all yours for the next 13. I want to wish you the best of luck. I know it's going to be great.
It was common practice for weekly series to take a hiatus during the summer and be replaced by programs showcasing up-and-coming talent.
Actually, Andy and I first met when he was appearing on the Steve Allen Show. And there was a friendship that developed right away. He was from Wall Lake, Iowa, and I was from Nashville, Tennessee. And we were really two country boys in the big city. So we hit it off great.
Oh, I'm Andy Williams. I sing.
The Chevy Showroom.
It was a small, intimate, half-hour, really good show. Directed really well. Musically, it was done very well.
Andy stamped it with his own personality in the summertime. He did it his way. He did, the arrangements were different. The approach to the guest was different. There was a feeling of class about it.
The Chevy Showroom gave Andy confidence that he had a career as a TV host, but he was still finding his way. Another opportunity presented itself during the summer of 1959.
And now, here's Andy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and good evening.
I had a television series on CBS, an hour replacing Gary Moore, and that was such a big, huge success. The reviews were just unbelievable.
Despite good industry buzz, Andy did not receive an offer to headline his own show during the regular season. In the early 1960s, live entertainment in Las Vegas was booming, and Andy was at the forefront, headlining at such famous casinos as the Flamingo and the Desert Inn.
My mom and dad met in Vegas. She grew up in Paris, was a dancer, grew up with a big family, 8 brothers, 3 sisters. She went into a dance school and ended up coming over to Vegas and was in the Folies Bergère.
I was driving my very first car. It was an old Chevy. It was a mess, and it broke down on the strip quite a lot, and it did that day.
Yes. She and a girlfriend were pushing a car down the street. It wouldn't run.
I didn't know what to do. So two very nice people stopped by and asked if they could help. And I said, oh, yes, please, please. And one of these nice men was Andy. And that was the start of something very nice and very beautiful.
Andy and Claudine Longet were instantly inseparable. He moved from New York to California in 1961, where on December 15th, he and Claudine were married.
They were a great couple. I mean, obviously you're a kid looking at your parents, but as I've looked back, they were in love and they were trend-setting, and you can tell when you see a picture if people look happy, and those were the pictures that were around our house, and they're still up, and so it was a great relationship.
In leaving New York, Andy also left Cadence to sign with Columbia Records. Early in 1962, Andy was asked to sing the nominated song from Breakfast at Tiffany's at the Oscars.
Everybody seemed to know that it was going to win the Academy Award. So I said, why don't I go in and make a record of this, and we'll do 10 other songs, great songs from movies, and call it Moon River and Other Great Movie Themes. Good idea. So we did.
Moon River, wider than a mile. I'm crossing you in style someday. You dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way.
Andy's performance at the Oscars was a smash, and Moon River, written by Henry Mancini and Johnny Mercer, won as Best Song. Columbia Records already had the album in stores across the country.
And I think they sold over 400,000 albums the next day, which is a lot of records then. And then it went on and just has been selling ever since.
Andy Williams and Henry Mancini were a very unique, special pairing because they knew each other well. There was an incredible bond between the two of them.
When you get Andy to sing one of your songs, it's as good as it gets. And of course, Moon River was identified with Andy because Andy was the one who really took the song and ran with it.
If I ever hear anybody else sing it, it's just not right. You know, it's Andy's song.
I was a big fan of Andy's long before I had ever met him. In fact, where I remember the first contact via records was down at the Cape Canaveral. We're getting ready for some of those launches. And that's when Moon River had just come out. And we had Andy's record of that, and in the little dining area we had for the astronauts down there, we just about wore that thing out.
I suppose it'll be one of the long-remembered songs in the genre of Stardust, and as time goes by, I mean, that's one of the most beautiful songs ever written.
We're after that same rainbow's end, waiting round the bend, my huckleberry friend, Moon.
The astronomical sales of Moon River brought an offer from NBC for Andy to host his own musical variety series. It should have been the opportunity of a lifetime, but no one was watching. By 1962, Andy Williams had been a professional singer for 25 years. He'd had hit records, performed in nightclubs, and appeared on television. But one dream remained frustratingly elusive. That was about to change.
And now, here is the star of our show, Andy Williams.
In the summertime when all the trees and leaves are green and the redbird sings I'm blue, 'cause you don't want my love. Some other time, that's what you say when I want you. Then you laugh at me and make me cry, 'cause you don't want my love. You don't seem to care a thing about me. You'd rather live without me than to have your arms around me when the nights are cold. You're so all alone. In the summertime when all the trees and leaves are green and the redbird sings I'll be blue, 'cause you don't want my love. In the summertime when all leaves are green. In the summertime I'll be blue all the time, 'cause you don't want my love. Good evening and welcome. A couple of quick points. First, I'm very happy that we're going to be together each Thursday night. And second, we're going to do a musical variety show, the kind of show that you and your kids can watch together.
I think they're great. And I can say that unabashedly because when I did them, I had no perspective at all about my work. I didn't think I was a great singer. I didn't think I was a great funny guy. I didn't think I was a great host. I didn't think I was great at all. Now, looking back at it, I really like them. I mean, they're good.
The Andy Williams Show was just one of many variety shows on the network schedules in the 1950s and 60s. The centerpiece, of course, was the music. Andy performed many of his hits, as well as a wide array of standards.
We had ideas of song in order to progress a certain attitude on the show. The final pick was Andy's. He was the master of that. We never challenged his decisions musically.
Oh, Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside.
Andy's got such a voice that is warm and inviting. There's something that's optimistic about it. You just love to listen to his voice.
Well, his style really is his own. It's relaxed and just he's quite wonderful, I think.
He made it all seem so accessible. And he chose songs so that it was a very, very special way of communicating the best of the material that was written, and then he let it shine through.
It's I'll be here in the sunshine or in the shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. Now, this is the part of the show that I think I'm going to like the most of the whole hour. I talked with our producer, Bob Finkel, when we were planning the show, and I said I would really like to have about 20 minutes where I could just sit down and talk to the audience and maybe sing some songs that they'd like to hear.
Now, there are very few performers could tackle that kind of a situation. Andy could sit out there on a stool. It was not scripted. It was blueprinted. He would do 3 or 4 things, ad-lib, comfortable, and it enhanced his being. He was out there among the people.
You gotta admit it takes guts, right?
For those of you who don't have a color set, it's too bad. The wonderful world of color is sitting right here. Ladies and gentlemen, Mom and Dad, who are out here, would you stand up, please?
My father started me, and my mother was there supporting me. It was wonderful that they would come down every week, sit in the studio audience, and watch my television shows.
Merry Christmas, Mama. Merry Christmas, Papa. You can sit down now.
I enjoyed seeing them enjoy me.
May each day in the week be a good day. May the Lord always watch over you.
Good night, everybody.
Andy's personal charm and casual manner were on full display, but the ratings were sinking. After only 5 months on the air, Andy and his dream of hosting a weekly TV series were canceled. In September of 1962, The Andy Williams Show premiered on NBC. Andy had finally fulfilled his dream of hosting a weekly TV series. But the ratings were alarmingly low, and the show was canceled in February of 1963. However, a lone sponsor believed in Andy, and he was given a last-minute reprieve.
Next week, oops, there is no next week. There is a next season, however. Most of us will be back together again next fall, and we hope that you'll rejoin us then when we do a series of special programs for S&H green stamps. So have a good summer, paste those stamps in your books, and until next season then, may each day of the year be a good day, and good night.
In an ironic postscript to a failed season, The Andy Williams Show won a coveted Emmy Award as Outstanding Variety Series. Although his TV career had taken a hit broadside, Andy's recording success continued full steam ahead when he scored his second biggest hit ever.
Guess there's no use in hanging round. Guess I'll get dressed and do the town. I'll find some crowded avenue, though it will be empty without you. Can't get used to losing you no matter what I try to do. Gonna live my whole life through loving you.
Didn't think it was going to be a hit, didn't think it was a great song. I was wrong.
I remember I had a little 45. I had this little record player, and I'd sit in my bedroom, and I'd play that thing over and over and over again all day long. And I'd try to learn the harmonies. Can't get used to losing you no matter what I try to do. Gonna live my whole life through. This is my favorite part. Boom, boom. Loving you. That was my favorite part.
Andy was now doing well financially. He formed a company to market a line of Andy Williams sweaters and another to produce his television shows. But perhaps Andy's biggest and smallest production of 1963 was named Noel.
You know, a lot has happened since the last time I was on the show.
Oh, I know. We've both become fathers.
Yes, a boy for me.
A girl for me.
Can't you see how happy we'll be?
Well, like everybody else, you know, you're very proud of, you know, everything they do. I mean, they can't do anything wrong. You know, their nose is running. Oh, isn't that cute? Oh,
For me, my father is the single biggest influence I had on my life, in all ways. Mostly for developing character inside and learning about art, and for many reasons.
I remember taking walks with Noelle, and when she was little, she couldn't talk, but I could understand her. Because if I let go of her hand a little bit, going down the drive, and she fell and scuffed her knee or something, she'd go, you know, she would, for God's sake, take my hand and don't let go of it. But no words, but just, you know, I knew darn well that she was pissed with me for letting her fall down there. Only a father could appreciate that.
I liked being his daughter. I was very proud of him. And he had so much magnetism, and he was so special that just by being next to him, I thought I was too.
With the same casual flair that marked his weekly series, Andy presented his first special in September of 1963. It was a hit. This time around, Viewers were captivated by Andy's winning combination of simplicity and sophistication. Another element played a role in the success of his TV shows, and it came from an unlikely source.
Last week, my father called me and said that he had seen 4 boys on television that he thought were wonderful, and they reminded him of my brothers and me when we were very little. They were on a talent show, and he asked them if they would come over, and they did. They came to the studio about 5 days ago and sang for us, and I would like you to meet them now because they're just wonderful. The Osmond brothers.
Hi there, folks. What do you say?
We're mighty glad to be here today. We have some songs we're gonna sing. And some barbershop cards are gonna ring, ring, ring.
Well, the mail was terrific. So I said, would you like to come back next week? Oh, yes, sir. And they came back for about 6 years.
Everything that we are today, we can always track it back to the Andy Williams Show. Whether it be the drums or banjo or singing or whatever it is, it's always, you can always track it back there.
I don't know what the hell they did at night. They must have rehearsed all night long because they'd come in, they knew everything.
Well, we wanted to please Andy so much, we'd all go home to our little rehearsal hall at the house. We'd work all night, even into the morning, to try to perfect it, so the next day we'd walk in having it memorized.
We were known as the one-take Osmonds. And boy, I tell you, when we were ready for that camera and that time for us to perform, we knew it backwards and forwards. And I was just a little guy, and it was hard. And the only person that gave me that steadiness and the calmness that kind of got me through it was Andy. And he'll always be my idol.
Andy Williams was practically my vocal teacher, and he didn't know it. When I was about 3 years old, my mother used to listen to him all the time on our record player, and I would spend hours singing along with Andy Williams, and that's how I learned to sing.
Today, the Osmond brothers, the 4 of them, brought their little brother along with them, and it seems that he likes my records, so he plays them at home, and the one record that he likes the most is called You Are My Sunshine. Now, the arrangement I do is not a simple one. It's kind of complicated, and he did it for me today. You've got to hear it. Donnie, would you come up and...
I remember going on the show. Didn't realize how many people were watching on the other side of the lens. I thought it was just the people in the studio. Do-dit, do-dit, and do-dit, do-dit. I remember Andy was laughing, and I thought, why are you laughing at me? And the audience was laughing, but they really enjoyed it, and I thought, whoa, this is a great job. I love this.
You are my sunshine, you make me happy when skies are gray. You never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
I remember I was 3 years old, and I walked in, and there was this green dress with feathers and silver shoes and this diamond necklace. I remember my father picking me up and putting me on this platform.